Well, like I mentioned, that one person who was injured in the Nagpur violence case has now lost his life. In fact, Irfan Ansari, who was injured in the violence in Nagpur on March 17th, has died due to his injuries. In fact, this is the first death that has been reported due to the Nagpur violence. In fact, Irfan Ansari was admitted to the Mayo Hospital in Nagpur. He was admitted in the ICU and was being treated there after he was injured in the Nagpur violence. In fact, we also heard from the Chief Minister himself detailing the action the government plans to take against the perpetrator of this violence and also what they have done so far. To be precise, 105 arrests have been made by the Maharashtra police till now. Now, a team of Supreme Court judges headed by Justice B.R. Gawai on Saturday visited Manipur's Churachandpur district and met internally displaced people. In fact, they also virtually inaugurated a legal service camp, a medical camp and a legal aid clinic from the mini secretariat at Lamka in the district. Upon their arrival, the team visited the Sadbhavna Relief Center and interacted with the internally displaced people. Meanwhile, Justice N. Kotushar Singh, who is part of the delegation and belongs to the Methi community, did not visit the Kuki majority Churachandpur district amid objections from the lawyers' body there. Earlier in the day, the top court delegation was accorded a warm welcome by the lawyers' fraternity of the state at Imphal airport. In fact, remember, this visit of SC panel judges come at a time when a shocking crime has shaken Manipur, where the body of the missing 9-year-old was found in a relief camp in the Churachandpur district early on Friday.
Sure, everybody, in fact, the Supreme Court visit is such a remarkable thing. I am sure this is going to give a healing touch and hope for, going forward. We must look forward. We must think of the future. We must not live in the past with all the kind of pain, tragedy which has taken place. We should not we must look forward for a brighter future where we can all stay together, live together. That's very important for us. It may take time, but then we must keep on our hopes. We must hope. You see, hope is such a great thing, it will always overcome any problem. We must all be positive. We must look forward. And I'm sure people will realize whatever has happened is happened, but we must look forward. And the kind of people excitement I can see. So I'm sure it will translate into reality.
It is our moral and constitutional duty to ensure that they are not left behind. Today we are pleased to announce various new beneficial measures on behalf of NALSA, SLSA. The legal aid services will also play a crucial role in ensuring that displaced individuals receive their rightful entitlements, be it in matters of identity of documentation, property rights, or compensation claims. I am happy to note that there are 265 legal aid clinics set up by the state of Manipur, the Manipur State Legal Services Authority. The legal aid clinics set up within the displaced communities will offer free legal assistance, empowering people to seek justice and protect their rights. I urge all displaced individuals to take advantage of these services and assure them that we stand with them in their journey towards rebuilding their lives.
Moving on, after News 9 extensive coverage, Karnataka Education Minister Madhu Bangapanna said that he has met parents and will take a decision in this week or by the end of the month. Meanwhile, the parents also met the Education Secretary and have got an assurance that the government circular will be issued.
ಈಗ ನಾವು ಆದಷ್ಟು ಬೇಗ ಕೆಲವು ಮನವಿಯನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೂಕ್ತವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಅವರ ಗಮನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅವರ ಬೇಡಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವಾರ 10 ದಿವಸದೊಳಗೆ ಈ ಮಂತ್ ಎಂಟೊಳಗೆ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬೇರೆ ನಾನು ಏನು
Now, just to give a context, remember nearly 5 lakh children in Karnataka face uncertainty regarding, in fact, they were trapped by the rigged enforcement of the National Education Policy 2020's Class First age rule that mandates children be 6 years old by June 1st. In fact, thousands of families who enrolled their kids in pre-primary under the previous system are now paying the price. These children ready for Class 1 are being held back, forced to watch their friends move ahead while they remain stuck in pre-primary, crushing their confidence and sense of belonging. The previous BJP government had granted an exemption after parental protests, but in November 2022, it reversed its stance, deciding to strictly enforce the rule from 2025-26 onwards without considering the children already in the system. Now, families are bearing the brunt financially, emotionally, and also socially. While Delhi, Maharashtra, Odisha, and Madhya Pradesh have adopted and offered relaxations for the affected children, Karnataka refuses to budge. The demand is clear: extend the relaxation to children already in the system before 2022. Do not let them waste a year of their crucial year, in fact, academic year. Karnataka's children deserve justice. The government must act now. In fact, we at News 9 have been raising this story for quite some time now. Now, staying with the state of Karnataka, a 12-hour bandh has been called by 3,000 pro-Kannada organization in protest of an alleged assault on a KSRTC bus conductor in Belagavi. The bandh is being observed from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. In fact, the bandh has impacted the functioning of schools, colleges, banks, public transport and other utility services. In fact, cab drivers and some auto rickshaw unions have also extended their support for the bandh. This means there will be no Ola, Uber cabs and limited autos running on the roads. In fact, Karnataka State Road Transportation Corporation and Bangalore Metropolitan Transportation Corporation are also participating in this very bandh. Meanwhile, hotels and film industry representatives have also extended their moral support. In fact, this bandh was called by over 3,000 pro-Kannada organizations. The visuals on your screens, viewers, deserted roads, blockades, and also what we are understanding is that the daily life had taken a hit in different areas due to this very bandh, which has been called by the pro-Kannada organizations. Shifting focus, in a significant move, the RSS's Akhil Bharatiya Pratinidhi Sabha has passed a resolution expressing solidarity with the Hindu community in Bangladesh. In fact, the resolution comes in response to the ongoing violence against Hindus and other minority communities in the neighboring country. The resolution strongly refutes claims that the attacks on Hindus in Bangladesh are purely political, calling such assertions a distortion of the truth. It emphasized that the majority of the victims are Hindus and other minorities, underscoring the religious dimensions of the violence. The resolution specifically points to the role of Pakistan and its deep state in fueling these tensions. In fact, this key resolution, which has been adopted by the RSS, talks about tensions and, in fact, about the kind of violence which panned out in Bangladesh against the minorities, specifically against Hindus.
बांग्लादेश की जो परिस्थिति है तो एक कॉल टू स्टैंड इन सॉलिडरिटी विद हिंदू सोसाइटी ऑफ बांग्लादेश। हमने जो बांग्लादेश के अंदर जो है हिंदू और माइनॉरिटी कम्युनिटीज़ जो है उनका जो ह्यूमन राइट वायलेशन हो रहा है और कंटिन्यूस वायलेंस, इनजस्टिस, ऑपरेशन, ये जो हिंदू समाज सहित ऑल द माइनॉरिटीज़ ऑफ बांग्लादेश उनके साथ जो हो रहा है उसको लेकर हमने एक चिंता व्यक्त किया है, सीरियस कंसर्न हमने अपना और प्रस्तुत किया है। ये जो सारा है ये इसको एक पॉलिटिक्स नहीं मानना चाहिए, केवल रिजाइम चेंज हो गया, सत्ता परिवर्तन हो गया, उसके कारण से ऐसा नहीं है। इसके पीछे रिलीजियस एंगल भी है, क्योंकि मेजॉरिटी ऑफ टारगेट जो है और कंटिन्यूस टारगेट जो है, दे आर बिकमिंग हिंदू एंड अदर माइनॉरिटी कम्युनिटीज। और ये इसलिए भी है कि ये परसिक्यूशन ऑफ हिंदू और माइनॉरिटी कम्युनिटी ये कोई नया नहीं है। 1951 के अंदर 22% पॉपुलेशन थी बांग्लादेश के अंदर हिंदू समाज की, अभी वो 7.95% है। तो हमको ध्यान में आ सकता है कि ये हिंदू समाज के वहां एग्जिस्टेंशियल क्राइसिस का इशू है। और इस बार जो हिंसा हो रही है उसमें ऐसा ध्यान में आ रहा है कि उसके पीछे गवर्नमेंट और इंस्टीट्यूशनल सपोर्ट भी है, और ये एक चिंता की बात है। और वहां जो लोग भी इस सारी हिंसा में हैं वो इसको केवल एंटी हिंदू नहीं, एंटी भारत भी बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। अनेक लीडर्स के स्टेटमेंट भी ऐसे ही सब आ रहे हैं। इसी सारे प्रस्ताव के अंदर एक हमने चिंता व्यक्त की कि इंटरनेशनल जो फोर्सेस हैं उनका जो रोल है, और खासकर केवल बांग्लादेश नहीं, ये जो अपना भारत है, इस भारत और पड़ोसी देश, ये केवल देशों का समूह नहीं है, हमारी हजारों साल की एक यात्रा है, वो हमारी कॉमन जर्नी है। हम जब कहते हैं तो वो कॉमन जर्नी के अंदर हमारा एक शेयर्ड कल्चर है, हमारी शेयर्ड हिस्ट्री है, और हमारे जो शेयर्ड जो है वो हमारे ट्रेडिशंस भी है, बहुत सारी बातें हमारी समान है। तो ऐसा लगता है कि एक मिसट्रस्ट और डिसट्रस्ट भारत और इन सारे पड़ोसी देशों के बीच में खड़ा करने का प्रयास भी किया जा रहा है। उसके अंदर दुनिया की बहुत सारी शक्तियां उसमें भूमिका अदा कर रही हैं। हमने पाकिस्तान, डीप स्टेट इन अमेरिका, उस सब के बारे में भी इसमें थोड़ा हमने इंगित किया है सारा उसमें से अपने प्रोसेस प्रस्ताव के अंदर।
The RSS body has also called for the intervention from the United States to address this current situation which is panning out in Bangladesh. Now shifting focus back to the national capital, where a fire broke out in a footwear showroom in Delhi's Shaheen Bagh market. In fact, 8 fire tenders were immediately rushed to the spot. In fact, the silver lining is that there is no report of any casualties as of now. Commuters in Shaheen Bagh area experienced a traffic snarl as firefighters fought hard to douse the fire. In fact, the visuals on your screens, viewers, the kind of damage this fire has done, though the silver lining remains that no loss of life has been reported in this fire which broke out at a market in Delhi's Shaheen Bagh area. Now, a major military announcement has been made by the White House in which President Donald Trump has awarded Boeing the contract to build the U.S. Air Force's most advanced fighter jet under the Next Generation Air Dominance program. In fact, the new F-47 set to replace the aging F-22 will be a game changer designed to operate alongside drones. It will feature cutting-edge stealth, sensors and next-generation engines, though much of its design still remains classified. In fact, what we are understanding for Boeing, this is the much-needed win after intense competitions with Lockheed Martin, which built the F-22. The move marks a significant shake-up in the U.S. defense industry and reinforces America's commitment to global air dominance. Trump himself called the F-47 something the likes of which nobody has seen before. He also sent a strong message to adversaries, and in fact he said, "We don't want a war with China, but if we did, we are well equipped."
The United States Air Force is moving forward with the world's first 6th generation fighter jet. Number 6, 6th generation. Nothing in the world comes even close to it. And it'll be known as the F-47. The generals picked a title. And it's a beautiful number, F-47. It's something the likes of which nobody has seen before in terms of all of the attributes of a fighter jet. There's never been anything even close to it, from speed to maneuverability to what it can have to payload. And this has been in the works for a long period of time. After a rigorous and thorough competition between some of America's top aerospace companies, the Air Force is going to be awarding the contract for the next generation air dominance platform to Boeing.
This comes as China accelerates its own military advancements, testing what appears to be the sixth generation fighter prototype. With growing tensions in the Indo-Pacific, the announcement is sure to pique response from Beijing. In fact, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth called today a big day for the war fighters, emphasizing that the F-47 will project US air power around the globe unimpeded for generations to come. Now, the US judge who temporarily blocked Donald Trump's administration from deporting alleged Venezuelan gang members under a 1798 law said government lawyers had been impeded and disrespectful in court, filing at the outset of a hearing on Friday over whether to maintain the ban. Here's the report.
Josefina Romero weeps for her son, who is being held in a high-security prison in El Salvador. He's one of the hundreds of Venezuelan migrants deported from the U.S. for their alleged ties to the notorious Tren de Aragua gang. But Romero says her son is not a criminal and demanded that El Salvador's president send him home.
Please bring him back to Venezuela. He's doing nothing there with other Venezuelans. Send him back. If Bukele wants justice, he can seek justice with criminals there. The fact that they have tattoos doesn't mean they belong to the Tren de Aragua. Nowadays, everyone has tattoos.
Romero and other families in Carabobo, Venezuela made the tattoo connection after reading on social media that U.S. authorities had linked having tattoos to the gang. This father says if he has to, he will go to El Salvador himself to search for his son and, quote, bring him back on foot. Last weekend, U.S. President Donald Trump invoked an 18th century wartime law to deport alleged members of Tren de Aragua, which the White House has declared a terrorist group and alien enemy. The migrants
From the heart of Haryana to the grand stadiums of Europe, News 9's hunt for Indian tigers and tigresses is changing lives. Meet Khushbu, a footballer who kicked her first ball at the age of 3 and in fact, she never looked back. Now she's set to train in Austria.
In the heart of Haryana's Alakpura, also known as India's mini Brazil, a young girl's dream takes flight. Khushbu touched a football before she even learned to write her name. At just 3 years old, she knew this was her calling. But talent alone wasn't enough. In a village where opportunities are scarce, Khushbu had to fight, not just on the field, but against the odds.
फुटबॉल को इसका इतना शौक था कि ये खुद 1 मिनट भी घर पर नहीं रुकती है। ब्याह शादी सब चीज़ ये छोड़ सकती, लेकिन बोल नहीं सकती। आगे जाके हम चाहते हैं कि इससे भी आगे जाए और बहुत ज़्यादा खेले, बच्ची का नाम हो और बच्ची के साथ मैडम का और गांव का भी नाम हो।
With unwavering support from her family and relentless training, she became a force to be reckoned with.
छोटी सी थी जब से ही इन्होंने ग्राउंड में अपने पास ही है और यही जाया करती थी। ये मेरे हिसाब से 3 साल की थी जब ग्राउंड में जाना स्टार्ट किया था इन्होंने। और हमारे गांव को फुटबॉल के नाम से मिनी ब्राज़ील के नाम से जाना जाता है। और खुशबू की जो ये उपलब्धि, इनके लिए मैं बहुत ज़्यादा खुश हूँ कि भाई ये हमारे गांव में कम से कम 300 से 350 लड़कियां ग्राउंड पे आती हैं।
She didn't just play, she conquered, winning tournaments, earning accolades, proving time and again that she belonged on a bigger stage. And now that stage awaits in Europe. Khushbu is one of the chosen few. Austria calls. And the dream is real. Training with Europe's best, competing at an elite level. This is Khushbu's moment.
जब मैं बच्चों को खेलते देखने थे तो मेरा मन भी करता था कि मैं फुटबॉल खेलूं। तो मेरा स्पोर्ट मेरी मम्मी पापा और मैम ने किया था, सोनिका विजारिनिया ने। जब मैं छोटी सी खेलने लगी थी तो सभी ने सपोर्ट किया और आज मैं यहाँ तक पहुँची हूँ। तो जब मेरी मम्मी पापा ने जब यहाँ पर सपोर्ट किया तो मेरा भी मन करने लगा कि मैं खेलूँ और एक अच्छा प्रोफेशनल प्लेयर बनूँ। मेरा फेवरेट प्लेयर रोनाल्डो है और मैंने उसका मैच बहुत बार टीवी में देखा हुआ है और मेरा मन था कि मैं अपनी टीम के लिए गोल पीछे बचाऊं, इसलिए मेरा ज़्यादातर मन करता है कि मैं डिफेंडर ही खेलूं और आज मैं डिफेंडर ही खेलती हूँ और मैं आगे भी डिफेंडर ही खेलूँगी। मैं TV9 को थैंक यू करती हूँ जो आज मेरे सर ने यहाँ पर मुझे खेलने के लिए कहा है और मैं इनका बहुत धन्यवाद करती हूँ कि आज जो भी मैं वहाँ पर खेलने जा रही हूँ और उन्होंने वहाँ पर मुझे सेलेक्ट किया। थैंक यू।
From the fields of Alakpura to the grand stadiums of Europe, Khushbu's journey is just beginning.
Well, with that, it's a wrap from my side. News and update continues on the other side. Don't go anywhere. You're watching News 9.